terms of how you're working, you can think about, are you using straightforward language? Are you explaining jargon? Are you using short sentences and giving time for people to respond? I I think my sort of best example of this was someone I worked with in an inpatient learning disability acute unit who just took so long to process and respond, and it didn't help that he looked very angry while he was thinking. But that was just him concentrating. But often we're tempted to fill the silence, or if they're not responding quickly enough, we're tempted to try and explain something to somebody again. And that might just overload the person with information. And it might also lead to kind of them feeling under pressure, potentially aggressive responses as well. So actually being able to sit with silence yourself is really important, to let somebody think, to allow someone to get to their own sort of conclusion themselves. Are you giving them information in writing as well? So long as it's safe, obviously, for them to have that information. So if people are living in vulnerable circumstances, if they're in domestically abusive relationships, if they're on the street, etc., actually some information you might not want written down because other people finding it might increase their vulnerability. But where possible, kind of helping them to have something that's a prompt to help them remember. Are you thinking about where you're having contacts? Are your environments kind of low stimulus, not too much distraction? Are you having shorter appointments? Are you giving them breaks? You might need to see someone more often, but for less time each time. How will they know that they can ask you if they need a break, or how will you know to read that they need a break in terms of reading their body language and things? So having those conversations with them is really important. I think one of the terms that often gets used around people with learning disabilities is acquiescence. So where people tend to go along with things, they don't necessarily feel like they have a choice. We're talking about a group of people who've often been disempowered. So if you tell them they have to come into a room with you and you keep asking them questions, they might not understand that it's okay to say, can I have a break, or this is too much for me. And sometimes then you might see that come out kind of behaviourally rather than just negotiating with you about how the session's going. Are you breaking tasks down into simple steps? So really thinking about, there's a lot of tasks that we really take for granted, that this is just easy to do because we're capable of doing it. But actually, if you've got cognitive impairment, you need things really breaking down, and you might need a lot of kind of scaffolding, a lot of support around how to do a task, and then checking understanding. So not just saying, do you understand? Because nobody wants to look stupid. They will just say yes, potentially. So instead saying, can you just repeat back what I've said? Or can I check, what have you understood from our conversation? Or what do you remember from this conversation? Those kinds of questions, so that actually it will become much more apparent much more quickly if they don't understand.